Welcome to the Author's Corner Review, brought to you by KNEO Radio 91.7 FM. I'm Roberta Foster, and today I'm going to tell you about some nonfiction books from a wide variety of publishers and topics. So the first book to share with you is How'd I Miss That? Gas Pump Confessions, Drive-Through Obsessions, and Figuring Out What Really Matters by Cynthia Yanoff. Cynthia Yanoff is a wife, mother, podcaster, author, and everyday girl who is deeply committed to not taking herself too seriously. She's the author of the book just mentioned, How'd I Miss That? Life is Messy, God is Good, where she uses humor and storytelling to encourage women to notice God's hand in the small, often overlooked moments of everyday life. Cynthia hosts the Mesmerized podcast, co-hosts Sidetracked and Feeding the Mouth That Bites You, and regularly joins other podcasts as a guest. Cynthia has been featured on Focus on the Family and speaks regularly at churches, conferences, and events across the country. She's passionate about foster care, queso, and spending time with as many friends as possible. Here's a bit about the book. With her trademark mix of self-depreciation and biblical truth, Cynthia Yanoff offers a mustard seed reminder that small pivots have significant kingdom impact when we live each day marked by compassion, generosity, interruptibility, risk-taking, and a willingness to serve others. These are the seemingly little differences that make a big difference in our parenting, our workplaces, our friendships, and the roads we walk each day. In the book, How'd I Miss That? Cynthia shares the good, the bad, and the confessions she once vowed to take to her grave, reminding us that every day we have the opportunity to stop building for applause and start building for eternity. Real deep friendship doesn't happen by accident. It's built with intentionality and vulnerability. Staying insulted, offended, and unforgiving is unknowingly playing right into the enemy's hand. When it comes to parenting, what feels most important in the moment almost never is. A deep faith doesn't happen by accident. It happens in private. It happens in prayer. It happens when we show up when we'd rather give up. Cynthia hopes readers will think of me as the friend who's willing to lean across the table and tell you there's food in your teeth. Not because I figured it all out, but because I've lived enough life with spinach dangling from my smile to realize the things that are so easy to miss, like forgiveness, compassion, availability, carry eternal significance if we'll just let Jesus get a hold of them. And that's the book, How'd I Miss That? By Cynthia Yanoff, published by Esther Press. And next is a book called Getting Through What You're Going Through, Notes and Poems by Tanner Olson. Tanner Olson is an author, poet, and speaker. He regularly shares his spoken word poetry and tells stories of grace and hope in churches and venues all across the country. His work has been described as hopefully unique and inviting as it blends faith, humor, and curiosity. Tanner is the author of 4 books, including his newly released first book for kids, All the Things I Say to God. He doesn't take himself too seriously, drinks his coffee black, and cheers for the Orlando Magic. He lives in Nashville, Tennessee with his family. Life is not a race, and you are not behind. You can find deep peace, everlasting hope, and a spark of joy right where you are. Sometimes getting through what you are going through requires you to be mindful of the lessons and blessings right in front of you. Whether you're navigating unmet expectations, uncertainty, or a life that feels too mundane, poet and author Tanner Olson shows how even in the most ordinary moments, a warm cup of coffee, a walk with a friend, a quiet morning, there is beauty, purpose, and evidence that God is near. Through a collection of essays, poems, and hopeful thoughts, Olson shares it isn't about fixing everything overnight. It isn't about making a massive life change. It's about discovering that maybe joy and goodness are awaiting you right where you are. Getting through what you're going through is an invitation to breathe, to believe that life is not a race and you are not behind. Hope is still here, and even the most ordinary days hold incredible meaning. That's Getting Through What You're Going Through by Tanner Olson, published by Zondervan. The next book is 5 Bags of Gold, a modern parable of wealth, responsibility, and eternal investment. And it's written by Nicholas Komnenelis, a medical doctor. Nicholas Komnenelis is president and professor at InMed, the Institute for International Medicine, and practices emergency medicine. He founded InMed in 2003 to advance global health education and service. He graduated from the UMKC School of Medicine and St. Louis University School of Public Health. He's also earned a diploma in tropical medicine from the Walter Reed Army Institute of Research. And so 5 Bags of Gold, written by Nicholas Komnenelis. Much of Western civilization is focused on pleasure, entertainment, and happiness. These treasures are fleeting. The ends are rarely what we think they will be or should be, yet we keep chasing these elusive dreams, hoping to find happiness. Nicholas Komnenelis shares his own personal journey, but helps us to see how important it is to invest ourselves for kingdom purposes. Our individual pursuit of treasure is better navigated by first recognizing that the most significant treasure cannot be earned or created, he says. God holds us accountable for what we have, not for what we don't have. We have time, we have talents, we have spiritual gifts. Dr. Komnenelis encourages us to use these wisely and strategically. Most important, he helps provide a roadmap for critical decision-making. How we make use of the treasure placed in our hands is pivotal to our spiritual destiny, he observes. He looks at the decline of the church in the U.S. and much of the West. Western civilization has witnessed a demographic decline in the number of people who identify as Christians. Churches are closing at a rapid pace, and congregations have shrunk or consolidated. Yet he observes Christ never suggested that the absolute number of followers would indicate success. As we see the world struggling for answers to big questions or challenges, Dr. Komnenelis encourages us to step out of our comfort zones. Opposition, doubt, and distress predictably afflict anyone who is trying to do good, he says. Adversity is the expected norm. The goodness of God is not somehow negated by the existence of suffering in the world. The opposite of peace is doubt, said Dr. Komnenelis. Decisions should be acts of faith and confidence, not symptoms of confusion. That's 5 Bags of Gold by Nicholas Komnenelis, published by New Leaf Press. The last book is called Good Money, written by John Coleman, 6 Steps to Building a Financial Life with Purpose. Traditional personal finance books mostly accept the same goals for all people. Make as much money as possible. Fund a college education for your kids. Save for retirement. These books mechanically advise readers to budget, take out a mortgage, open savings vehicles, and so on, without much thought as to who we are as individuals. But is that all? Will that formula make people happy? To achieve a more meaningful life, one must address the role that money plays in it. In this book, investor, author, and speaker John Coleman offers a new mindset around personal finance, one that puts purpose at its core. It provides a 6-part framework for using money properly to lead a financial life of flourishing. Change how you think about money. Choose a job that earns with purpose. Spend and consume wisely. Use your means to help others. Invest for maximum impact. And save for freedom, not retirement. Using first-hand interviews and examples, Good Money walks through each of these steps, providing helpful and sometimes counterintuitive advice on how to use your wealth to flourish and find greater meaning now and long into the future. John Coleman is an investor, writer, and public speaker. He's the co-CEO at Sovereigns Capital, which invests in public equities, private equities, and venture capital. and that's the book Good Money by John Coleman, and published by Harvard Business Review Press. Recapping the books I've shared with you: Good Money by John Coleman, 6 Steps to Building a Financial Life with Purpose, published by Harvard Business Review Press. 5 Bags of Gold by Nicholas Komnenelis and published by New Leaf Press. Getting Through What You're Going Through by Tanner Olson, published by Zondervan. And How'd I Miss That? Gas Pump Confessions, Drive-Through Obsessions, and Figuring Out What Really Matters, written by Cynthia Yanoff, published by Esther Press. If you'd like more information on any of these books, we invite you to visit the publisher's website. And if you'd like to hear this review again or share it with another, you can find it on your favorite podcast platform or through kneo.org. This has been Roberta Foster with your Author's Corner Review. Join me again next time on KNEO 91.7 FM, The Word, or your favorite podcast platform.